Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, and we are in the building going through the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell. We are now into law number 6. Law number 6, which is the law of environment. So we've gone through law number 1, which was the law of intentionality, knowing where you want to go. Law of awareness, knowing your surroundings and also who your mentors can be. That was law number 2. Law number 3 was the law of the mirror. Looking in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you see? Hopefully you see phenomenal. Hopefully you see excellent. Hopefully you see greatness in your very own self. Law number 4 is the law of reflection. We want to reflect and capture moments. And then law number 5 was the law of consistency. Consistent action breeds success. And so now we're into the law of environment. Got our co-host, Mr. Pat, in the building. How are you doing, sir?
Doing wonderful.
Doing wonderful. What cup you sipping on today?
I don't know. Let me see if I get that focus.
Relax. That's what I'm talking about. Just relax. Evan, just relax. You too crunk in the morning. So here's the deal, guys. We talked a little bit, got into the law of environment a little bit, and I see Raquel is here. Raquel will be joining us in just a second, our lovely co-host as well. So the law of environment talks about that growth thrives in conducive surroundings. So we want to be aware of our, not just being aware of our, we want to be aware of our surroundings. We want to be aware of our environment, and we want to put ourselves into challenging environments. Environments are going to help us to grow. When you are the smartest person in the room, it's time to find another room because that you've reached your growth ceiling. Now, I would also say this. I found in my life that you know when it's time for you to change. You know when it's time for a change. For example, I remember some of the jobs that I had. I felt like there was no capacity to grow. There was that glass ceiling, and I knew it was time for me to change. That's just me personally talking there. And I was like, okay, well, if the job isn't going to change, then I'm going to change. And I found a new job. I mean, that's just kind of how simple it was. And now obviously I'm an entrepreneur. But I think you recognize when you have reached your growth potential in some particular environment. And you got to ask yourself, am I going to stay capped out, or am I going to find a new place in order to continue to grow? Because that's what this life is all about. It's all about growing. It's all about evolution. It's all about adapting. And so we must evolve. If we're not growing, we're dying. At the end of the day, you're either moving forward or you're moving backward. There's no middle ground in this whole journey in life. So it's important that you recognize if it is a time for a change. And that's kind of the first premise that was in this that's in this chapter. Now, as we move on to the second premise, it says change depends on your choices. Now, you've probably seen the phrase that growth equals change. It's possible to change without growing, but it's impossible to grow without changing. Pat, your thoughts?
Well, and a lot of us get comfortable and with our unhappiness. We're unhappy where we are, and yet we're not motivated enough to actually change it. And then we want to complain about what we have. And it's like, if you're complaining about it, you're using energy to keep yourself there. Why not use that same energy and move forward? And if you feel landlocked where you are, that's okay. You can be landlocked and still improve yourself. You can be the best blank, whatever it is. And whatever it is, whatever you are at the moment, because other people will notice your smile. Other people will notice your effort. Other people will notice your attitude. And based on your attitude, other doors open.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. When I my last job, I remember trying to determine, it was like 5 of us that came into the company at the same time. And I was the one that got promoted first. And then I did a little research. I mean, not research. I did a little looking into it. I was like, man, what made me get promoted first? What stood out about me? And it really was my approach to work. It had nothing to do with it had a little bit to do with my skill set, but it had more to do with my attitude. It had more to do with the impact that I was having on other people that were in that particular organization. And so they saw greater value in what I was bringing above and beyond my job. I was participating in things. I was leading charges and campaigns. I was doing things I was doing extracurricular activities with a positive attitude. And I believe that's what propelled me to move forward ahead of my class. And I think that's important to talk about because some of us have children. And I think it's important to relay that same message to them to move ahead above their peers. They got to do extracurricular activities with a positive attitude. Hey, Tamisha, how are you? Miss Raquel, what's going on?
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So we're talking about change depends on choices. So one of the keys to making the right changes that allows us to grow is knowing the difference between a problem or a challenge and a fact of life. Now, it says that a problem or a challenge is something that you can change, but a fact of life is something that you cannot. So I think when you run into a fact of life, that's when you know you got to change your attitude or change your perspective about that particular fact. But when you run into a problem or a challenge, that's something that you know that you actually can have an active part, play an active role in actually changing that particular problem or finding a solution to that problem or overcoming that particular challenge. Raquel, what's going on with you?
Nothing. This is like one of the busiest days of my week because I facilitate 3 calls from 8:30, 9:30, and 12:30 on Tuesday, and now I'm participating in this. It's wedding season, so I have 2 projects because I do wedding invitations on the side coming up, and I have meetings scheduled for people who are interested in me doing their social media. So it's getting very, very busy, and it's very, very overwhelming. And also on the I don't know, the 9 to 5, whatever we want to call that, because the job that pays my bills. Opportunities are coming up there. So I know what's going to happen is I'm going to have to make a decision at some point, even if it's just me minimizing the amount of hours that I'm working at the daytime job. A lot of my friends are warning me not to just go into the matrix, because when I say the opportunities are there, I mean to have my own store and my own location, maybe some travel, flying from state to state to help open and oversee some stores is a possibility. So, yeah, I just have to not be overwhelmed.
Well, hey, Miss Raquel, I would say this. Don't listen to your friends about going into the matrix and not going into the matrix. I think when we talk about overwhelming, I think it's more about time management. You know, how much time do you want to devote towards all these? See, you're one of these multifaceted, multi-skilled superwomen that can just do everything. And yes, that's right. Superwoman, because you know, you got this going on, that going on, that going on, that going on, right? But now it's just about, okay, well, my priorities. And I don't like to say time management because you can't control time, but you can control your priorities. So hey, I got the daytime gig. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm taking care of the organization that you are that you're volunteering at, that you're putting some energy there. That's another priority. And then you got your wedding invitation. That's another priority. And whatever. So I think it's a matter for you of really getting organized with your priorities. And then
I'm a visual person, and people find this quite a bit. So I have 2 visual calendars, one for the week and one for the month. And because I need to see the holes in my schedule. I need to see if somebody calls and they're like, we need to have this done. Then I need to see.
Oh, Tamisha, you're gonna have to jump into a seat with that one. We need to hear from that. If you don't.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think I need to see it. But anyway, I have a visual camera so I can see my holes, because if you do just doing the wedding invitation part, brides have no sense. They want everything done tomorrow, but they tell you about it tomorrow. So I have to kind of stay on my feet, because I have to be able to tell some of these brides no, because they will dominate my life and try to do it for a very little bit amount of money.
Now you got some static coming in from your feed on my end. Are you hearing that static as well, Pat?
Yeah, she's a little choppy, but
I don't know if it's because Tamisha is trying to come on.
No, you've been choppy before she was trying to come on.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody is perfect over here.
Okay, Raquel. That's what we're telling you. You might want to refresh. Tamisha's trying to come in. I know that I see you coming in. I'm not quite sure. You're not here yet. So we're talking about the change depends on your choices. As soon as the wonderful ladies come back, us men will shut up, because, you know, let the lady talk. So whether you are a success or a failure in life has little to do with your circumstances. It has more to do with your choices.
Am I still?
You're good now. It has little to do with. There she is.
Good morning, guys.
What's up? What's up?
Morning, Raquel. Nothing much. So, in regards to the whole Superwoman thing, the challenge with that is that we're good at so many things and we're interested in so many things and we can do so many things. So we tend to sometimes spread ourselves thin and try to be everyone's savior. And then by the time we look back, we haven't really accomplished anything of significance because we're not focusing all our energies in on one particular area. So we can't really fully succeed and see the fruit of something because we're everywhere. So that's the other side of being Superwoman. So I'm recovering.
You're recovering? What do you mean by you're recovering? You've been.
In other words, I'm learning to.
Lisa, how long have you been Superwoman?
I'm learning for a long time. Do you want to know?
Yeah, how long?
You're trying to find out my age, huh?
No, you're not telling your age. Just 10 plus years.
Long time.
Okay, long time. That's cool.
Since the college years.
Now, Tamisha, is for you as being Superwoman, does this have to do with just your makeup, or does this have to do with I don't know? Sometimes I hear like, okay, well, the relationships and men in our life, and maybe the children, and now because you got to do everything at the house, and now what I mean. Especially as a Black woman, I hear that a lot. I don't know if that's true or not, or is it just your makeup? Like you just that type of woman that just.
I think it's a little bit of both. There are internal forces and external forces at work. There is this sort of an exaltation in the society of a woman who has it all and can be it all at the same time and still look hot every day. That's sort of the idol of this generation. And there is that external pressure to kind of be that sort of woman. And sometimes we try to live up to that and we end up sort of breaking ourselves in the process. And then realizing, oh my gosh, I'm human. I have limits. But then the flip side of it is that part of it is our makeup, because women tend to think very holistically. We're thinking about our relationships and we're thinking about our career and our future and everything all at the same time. So it kind of has to come together and be umami. So we're sort of built for it, but not to the extent that maybe society makes us want to aspire to, if I'm making any sense. We had to set a limit with the Superwomanness.
So Pat, what about you? Has there been a time or a period of time where you were just like Superman and then you were just spreading yourself so thin? If so, how long did that period last for you, or did you never really fall into that trap?
I think any high achievers sometimes get into that trap. And the reality is what we have to really focus on is our attitude more than pleasing everybody else. Because it's too easy to volunteer for everything. And you want to help everybody. And the reality is you need to realize, just like a fireman running into a burning building, you may not be able to save them all. You save the ones that are willing to help themselves. You save the ones that are willing to help you get out of the building too, not the ones that are fighting you. Because the ones that are fighting their own success will actually pull you down too. And so you can't save the ones that are trying to keep you there, even though they need to be saved. If they're trying to keep you there, they're going to stop you also, and then you both die. So one of the things they teach firemen is, save the ones that will listen to directions. Save the ones you can pull. Save the ones you can get out. But the ones that are pulling you in, save the other one. and try to get back. But there's reality is you may not be able to save them all. Save the ones that want to be saved.
So I'm asking this question to everyone because I think I truly believe that we attract who we have become. So I'd imagine that we got more supermen or superwomen, and I'm talking about the mentality that you think that you can save everybody. How long have you been dealing with this mentality if you are in the audience? That goes for Mr. Beatles, Miss Britt, Miss Veda. And if you've overcome it, then tell me how long you were dealing with the Superman, Superwoman mentality as it relates to what we're talking about. You think you can save everybody, you're spreading yourself too thin, you're giving yourself away, and you have nothing left for yourself. Raquel, Superwoman, talk to us about this.
Come on.
Well, most of my life I've been Superwoman. Like even right now, I want to focus. Okay, I'm a dancer. That's what I am. You got to be careful when you say dancer here in Atlanta because people want to put a pole behind you. But I am a ballerina. I'm a trained dancer. I love giving dance back to the community. Now, when I tell people all the things that I'm capable of doing, and then I mention that I'm a dancer, they want to go, oh, that's cute. You can't make money off dancing. Dancing is the one thing that if you gave me bread and water and a mat in a corner of a room with some sunshine, I would be completely okay. If I moved to Paris, got rid of all my belongings, and you were like, we're going to have you teach this dance class, you get to dance every day, and all I could do is keep my lights on. That is my core.
So,
but when I meet people,
hold on a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on a second. So, all this time that we've been talking to you, you've been talking about social media expert. You've been talking about traveling. You've been talking about the stuff that you do with this organization. You've been talking about your job. This is the first time I heard you say, I am this. So my question is, and I know I'm going to let you finish. My question is, why don't you do more of this? That is where your passion is. That is where you probably make the biggest impact. You should be teaching some classes at this point and getting paid to do it. So I'm wondering, with all of this that you got going, opportunities coming up, opportunities going here, why are we not creating the opportunity in the space that we love?
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say about every.
You know what?
Go ahead. All right.
I want to speak.
I'm a dancer, but this is what happens whenever I talk about dance. I don't get to get it out. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Raquel. We're not trying to.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say something there that sometimes this thing that we love the most and that is something that's so precious to us. Sometimes we highly guard those gifts and those dreams, and we hold them in our hearts, and that's the last thing we would even come forward about. But I'll tell you one thing though, Raquel, you do have two valid options. And this is kind of what it was for me, because I love to sing, okay? And I'm a vocalist and I'm talented in that area. But I don't want to monetize it per se and make it my life's I don't want it to be my primary source of income, because it does run the risk of it becoming a job, and I never want it to become a job for me. So I decided to have that be a hobby for me, something that I just do. I just go out and perform at an open mic. Maybe I'll do a paid performance once a year or something, and I'm fine with that. That makes me happy. I don't want it to be like, okay, I have these 5 singing gigs and then I'm tired and you know what I mean, and my voice is cracking. So that was a decision I had to make. You can go both ways. You can monetize your passion. That's a valid solution. Or you can find another thing that you're really good at and that you love to do that you can monetize, that funds your dream and your passion, and do that as a hobby. So it's a choice. It's a decision that you have to make. And I'm really happy with my choice, because what I did is I built a business that allows me to help people, not just musicians, but people that have their dream, and help them to monetize that. so I can actually impact more people, not just people who are musically talented. And at the same time, I can sing on the side and share about my passion without the pressure of having to earn money from it. So that's what has worked for me. But that doesn't mean that's going to be everybody's solution.
Go ahead, Miss 6 o'clock.
From September to June, I teach dance to toddlers up in Alpharetta. Every Monday, and I get paid for it. I don't make a lot of money from it. It costs me more to go there than it does for me to even be compensated. But I'm teaching people who just learn how to walk creative movement. So I'm impacting them at an early age. So I do have my outlet. My Tuesdays, I don't do anything else on my Tuesdays. Now, the organization that I do this other thing for on Tuesdays, they're fortunate because right now I'm not teaching dance. So what I've also done is, as a student, every Monday I take a dance class with co-parts, because you have to feed your gift as well. So I'm taking dance. So what's going to happen? I just started taking this dance class when I get ready to go back up to Alpharetta, and I don't have a car. I have to take a bus to a train to a train to a bus, get off at a bus stop and call an Uber to go teach this dance class to these teeny tiny people. So that is something that I love. And oftentimes we talk about, we don't, our gifts, we don't want to prostitute our gifts, because what happens is I have something that I want to give, and people are like, well, dance to this song and make sure when it gets to this point, you do this thing. And I'm like, okay, that's not what I'm feeling, but you make it work. So I get to do, get to do both. And what I could do and package it is, instead of having going all the way up at Alpharetta, there are tons of preschools around here that I could do this. So right now, the job that I have is funding my $40 a month tuition that I pay to this dance school so I can take this class. And then I would like to, I don't have a vehicle, get a car so that I can go to Alpharetta on Tuesdays and not, because it takes me, I teach for 2 hours, I make X amount of money, but it takes me like 3 hours to get there and then 3 hours to get back. It absorbs my entire day, but the energy that I get and the things that I do for these kids, it's all worth it. Now I keep trying to interject doing something about the arts for this organization that I work for. I keep saying that that's what I want to do. But it keeps kind of getting pushed to the background because people want me to do other things. So it goes back to what we were saying earlier about having the proper attitude. Everything I do is a dance. When I'm busting tables at my job, it is literally 5, 6, 7, 8, and wipe and wash and walk back and talk and clap and hey, how you doing? Everything I do is an 8 count in my head. Every single thing I do, I just feel it, even if it's not on purpose. So yeah, I agree a lot with what Tamisha was saying. That's awesome. I also agree with what Evan is saying, and it's a lot of pressure to figure out, here's what and then, because in people's head, I'm way past the age of a ballerina, but I will go to a competition, an audition, and stand next to somebody half my age, and just because I show up and I have an attitude, they immediately start checking themselves, like, oh my gosh, she's gonna bring it. But you guys seen the thing with Aunt Viv in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where she goes in and she kills that audition and she stands like bigger and bolder than everyone else, and then she closes the door and she passes out. She passes out. I'm kind of like Auntie Viv. Like, I can hang with them, but when the show is over, I have to immediately go like in the bathroom, close the door, and be like, oh, okay. So it's a lot that I have to think about. But yes, dance is my passion. That is my core. If I feel bad, I will turn on some music, and I could dance every single thing away.
And I would sing. Yeah. And I would sing. I was going to my room and sing. Yeah. I was going to my room and sing, or go to karaoke overnight. So I like having that as my outlet that I can go to. It's sort of precious to me. I don't want to monetize that badly. Like, I'll do something. Yeah, I can make a little bit of money, but I don't want it to be, because I want to actually have it. Like, when I'm stressed out, just go and, sing my heart out.
Man, this is some good stuff, man. Pat, you got anything to add?
Well, I think it's interesting that we all have different passions, right? And I think it's interesting that you want to keep your passion and not contaminate it with the commercial side of life, because especially in this society, it takes so much to make a commercial success. I mean, it takes, and sometimes it means doing it when you don't feel like doing it. And the problem is, when you have such a precious gift, your attitude's a large part of that gift. And when you're forced to do it when you don't feel it, then you don't produce what you want to produce. So, I mean, I understand the wanting of keeping it separate from the commercial side. The reality is you will get value back for it. You know, those children you are teaching, not only you leave that all energized and pumped for the week, but, you know, what blessings are you putting into their lives? And it will come back to you, but it doesn't always come back to the person you give it to. You know, that you plant a lot of seeds everywhere. Somebody else comes and waters those seeds. The growth comes from another source. And a lot of times you'll get paid back for things like that, not necessarily from the people you're feeding it into. So here you are, I mean, you're feeding into all these children, and out of the blue, someone calls you and says, hey, can you do this? And a lot of times you'll get gifts back from totally what you think is unrelated, you know, but it does come back. So I you know, keep doing what makes you happy, one, because it's important you be happy. And the other important thing is structure your financing side so you can continue doing what makes you happy.
Yeah, and I would add that not go ahead, Raquel. What? Oh.
No, that's just, I was giving him props.
Oh, okay.
That's what it
Hey, so I would say yeah, so Beta saying do it.
Okay.
Huh? And I would also say, I mean, this is something that I teach and I talk to people when I coach them. I mean, when you find something that you love, find ways to do more of it. That's it. And now whether that's monetizing it or not, I mean, I'm not really just talking about monetizing. I'm just trying to say find ways to do more of it. Success leaves clues at the end of the day. And so if that's a place that you're successful, you're highly passionate, you're highly successful, you're making the biggest difference, we need you. We need you. We need you. We need everyone operating from their source of power. Everybody. We need everybody operating in their 10. And if that's a 10 area for you, whether that means you're getting $1 million or $5 or no dollars, we need everybody operating from their place of power. Now, what's their place of power? Wealthy, healthy, and happy. So, this is a great conversation because I believe that there's people here and people that's going to watch this later that might be operating in this Superman, Superwoman mentality where they may stretch themselves so far, so thin that they get away from the things that they may love to do the most. And I think what I'm saying here, and I don't know if all you guys are agreeing or not, though, with me, is that I want each and every one of you, each and everybody that might watch this at some point in time, I want you to find the thing that you love and then find ways to do more of it. That's it.
We learn things like, you see in order to do, in order to have. So it starts with your being. It starts with how you are. And the most important way to be is to be happy. So whatever makes you happy will make you produce and do everything else better. Even things that seem mundane. You may have a mundane job, but if you're the one dancing around with a smile on your face, it's not a mundane job anymore. If you're dancing through life and you're happy through life, if you can be happy, then you can do better. And if you are happy in your being and you're doing better, then naturally, eventually you will have more.
So to me, Mr. B says it's very difficult to be amazing all by yourself. I know. That's why we have this network. The number one network for growing people, wealthy, healthy, happy. And so, guys, if you don't know, you definitely can connect to us by simply following the link below. Now, Ms. Misha, man, you got any last words for the peeps? This is a 30-minute show, man. This has been, we could probably continue this conversation tomorrow because, man, we started talking about Superman, Superwoman, and we ain't even got to the law of the environment. But hey, this is the environment. This is what we need to talk about today. Tamisha, got any last words for the peeps?
Yeah, my last words would be basically what Evan said is so true. Like, find what you love and find ways to do more of it. Really, as Seth Godin so aptly talks about in one of his books, create art. Whether that art is you're dancing or you sing or it's your blog post or your writing, whatever that thing is that you do so well, do that thing. But that may not be the thing that you monetize. It's not really about the money. It's about creating value for the world. And just do that. So some things you're going to create value, but you're not going to monetize it. And then some things you are going to monetize. The point is to just do it. Go out and create art, create your life's work, and you will see rewards, whether monetary or otherwise.
Miss Raquel, 6 o'clock. Time for Raquel to rock. Any last words for the peeps?
Yeah, I just agree. Just if you can identify that it is whatever your passion is, then you should just keep the fire of that and the fuel of that always burning, no matter what people say or think about you. And just a quick story. Like I said, I teach dance every Tuesday during the first part of the school year, and I missed a Tuesday. Like I called out. And when I got back the next week, the kids were like, "You were gone forever. You weren't here the yesterday and the yesterday and the yesterday and the yesterday." So I felt kind of bad. So that's about consistency and showing up when it's time for you to show up. You're planting seeds and they're excited about what it is that you're giving to them. Sometimes even the faculty at the school, they're not always nice to them. Like they yell at them a lot. I'm the one, I come in there, I'm not yelling. Teachers get out, let me close the door. This is my time to be, with the kids. And then I have to identify their strengths in terms of like how much they can do. So we imitate animals. We hop like frogs. We do elephants and stuff like that. And that's how you can start to get them to recognize what's going on in their bodies. But yeah, consistency is important and all that stuff. I'm reading what Tamisha wrote. That's awesome.
Pat, man, you got any last words for the peeps?
Well, yeah, just to finish up today, I would say, as you go forth today, be happy. Do what makes you happy, and you'll have what makes you happy.
That's right. Be happy, do what makes you happy, and you'll have what makes you happy. Man, that's phenomenal, guys. Well, here's the deal, man. This is a Wealthy, Healthy, Happy show. Man, we go off script. That's okay because it's not about us. It's about we. It's not a me show. It's a we show. It's all about the people. And that's what we're here for. We're here to be the number one marketplace for growing people. Check us out, wealthyhealthyhappy.net. We're here Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Here's the thing, guys. We'll be here tomorrow. The question is, will you? So join us. Here's the deal. We are wealthy. We are healthy. We are happy. We're out. Have a good day.